Hello again, it's me, that guy with the YouTube channel, and now I should probably mention, because things probably look different right now. The spooky, scary skeletons and the shivers down your spine will return, and this is still a Halloweenish October-y review of Evil, but because this is an Evil Dead related video, and that's kind of my other thing besides Godzilla, I won't get into everything, but anyways, today we're going to be taking a look at the figure I sold a kidney to get. So yeah, today we're going to be reviewing the Neca Evil Dead 2 Series 2 Hero Ash. I don't have the box, so let's just jump right into the detail. So for detail, as you can see, it's pretty good. The shoes, you can see he's got laces on there, which is nice, and the tear in his leg is nice. You can see the sock through there, just looks good. His pants are maybe a little too dark. I think in the movie they were a little bit lighter, but I guess because he's getting soaked in all this blood and crap in the movie. Kind of like his shirt, it's just kind of faded, but it's like that on all the Evil Dead 2 Ash figures NECA's put out, so eh. And you can see his belt, and he's got pockets on his pants, which are nicely sculpted as well. But yeah, his shirt is nice, although due to it being a separate piece, it rides up over his waist, and it's supposed to look tucked in, and that's not tucked in at all. You can move it around, but if you look at it from different angles, there's always a part that won't look good, so that kind of sucks, but whatever. He's got the harness for the chainsaw on, which looks good. This little thing here is very soft, and I would recommend being careful because it might tear. Yeah, and this shirt is all nice and torn. There's a tear right there. The chainsaw is nice, although it's way too weathered. Also, I'm pretty sure the body of this chainsaw was plastic and not metal. I mean, there were metal parts on it. There has to be metal parts on a chainsaw, but yeah, the scuffed off red paint just doesn't look good. And right here should be painted to look wooden on the top and bottom. There should just be a silver bit going through. But overall, it's sculpted nicely. It just could be painted better, and I wish there was some blood on the blade. But that's just me. There's a tear right here, and I believe on the Hero from the Sky version, it's painted on the bottom part here, so it's kind of weird. And also this tear just kind of ends. It's not sculpted onto his elbow or anything, so that looks a little weird, but again, whatever. His head sculpt is pretty good. I mean, it's a good likeness of Bruce Campbell in the 80s, but the expression just doesn't work for me, at least on this. Like, it works on Hero Ash and Hero from the Sky, but with this I would expect something a little more pissed off and ready to kill Henrietta, or something like that, but no, he's just like, you. I don't know where I was going with that. But anyways, you can see he's got armpit hair. Very important detail there. The only complaints I have are really here, that you can see it's all, well, these two holes here aren't actually sculpted holes through the shirt. They're just, like, it's just painted. So it looks all chalky and weird, but you're never going to see it. And again, right here, his torn collar is all hanging up like that, and it's glued down right there. So I really want to cut that off and glue it down a little lower so it won't stick out like this. But I mean, at least they put this detail in, and it is like that in the movie. And his shotgun holster looks nice. So that's it for detail. So before we get on to articulation, accessories, first he comes with his boomstick, which, as you can see, is very nicely detailed if we focus on it. There we go. As you can see, there's a pretty good wood grain texture on the handle. It looks kind of like it's covered in some dirty black wax, which there were two shotguns used in the movie. One made for going in the holster, and one was actually being used. And the one that was made for going in the holster looked like it had some kind of black, dirty wax over the wood grain part, so maybe that's what they're going for here. As you can see, the trigger guard is broken off on mine. It was half broken off when I got it, and broke off when I tried to put it in his hand. But you can see the trigger's there, just the thing that goes over it isn't there anymore. This part is silver. I should probably go back and check the movie, but I don't think this part was silver, and it's not silver on the Ash vs. Evil Dead figures, but This isn't the Ash vs. Evil Dead version, is it? No hole in the barrel. But anyways, putting it in his hand, you kind of got to get him to pinch it, kind of like that, if you want to get him to hold it to look like he's going to fire it. And so I struggle with it here. Yeah, as you can see, you kind of got to get him to pinch it like that. And if there is the trigger guard, you still got to kind of get him to pinch the gun instead of just trying to fit the whole thing in his hand, because as you can see, this isn't really meant for holding this. But you can just slot it into the holster back there if you don't want it in his hand, which I don't like to put it in this figure's hand because it takes paint off and he doesn't really look like he's ready to use the gun with that head sculpt. But that accessory is nowhere near as good as this, the laughing deer head. This doesn't really have any name. Let me just focus on it here. It looks very nice, and we need to focus on it, please. Please, focus. You get the idea. It looks nice. That is really bothering me. It's like it's right in front of the fucking camera. Yeah. So you can see it looks nice. It would be nicer if the camera would focus on it, but it doesn't really want to do that for some reason. And it's got a ball joint in it, so it can look at Ash and laugh, but there's no hole, even though right here you can see where the deer has been pressure fitted onto this plaque. There should probably be a hole in there so you could mount it, but Neca thought, nah, let's not do that. So for articulation, starting with the head, it's on a ball joint, which doesn't really get that good of a range of motion. It can look up and down a little bit and go side to side a little bit. They've definitely improved since this figure. But it can also look side to side, which is good. Shoulders are ball hinged. On the sleeveless arm, it can go out about that much. The arm with the sleeve, yeah, they both go out about the same much. Out about the same. Elbows are ball hinged. The sleeveless one doesn't get as good of a range, but yeah, ball hinged, whoopity dee. The arm with the chainsaw arm, that's what I should have said, gets about 90, so that's good. You can also take it off right here, so if you have one of the other Ashes and you want to put on the stump hand, I don't really know why you would, but you can do that. I'm not going to do that because I took it off and a bunch of blue dust that looked like it was paint fell out, so I'm not doing that. The chainsaw can swivel, fucking swivel, and this hand is just ball jointed, so hooray. There's a ball joint right here, as you can clearly see. It moves up and down a little side to side, but there's also a waist swivel, which is ridiculously hard to get to move and doesn't really accomplish a whole lot. It accomplishes less than what this joint accomplishes up here. But anyways, V-cut legs and a swivel right here. The main reason why Neca decided to do the Ultimate version is mostly because of this, and why not? Because the Neca Ashes don't tend to stay on the market at cheap prices for very long, so better keep those supplies up. Anyways, I don't know where I was going with that. Ball hinge knees. Why have a ball hinge if there's a swivel right here? You can do that. We all wanted to do that, let's face it. And there's ball joint feet, which, again, Neca have definitely come a long way since this figure, because the ball joint feet they do on figures now is a lot better than just that. You can barely do anything with these feet. So yeah, that's it for articulation. It's pretty good, but it could be a lot better. And for sizing, here he is with the Neca Evil Dead 2 Series 2 Henrietta, which is actually considerably shorter than Ash. Again, I should probably go back and check the movie, but I'm not sure if Henrietta was this much shorter, so I mean, it looks good, and if you have Henrietta with the Pee-wee head, which we'll look at in her review, which I will do, Henrietta looks a lot better with Ash with that head, but yeah, they look good enough together, so that's that. And because why not? Here he is with the Neca Ash vs. Evil Dead Series 1 Hero Ash. Ash seems to be taking a nap now. So for history of the figure and pricing, this figure was originally released in 2012 in Series 2 of the Evil Dead 2 line along with Henrietta, and is now, well, he was about $20, and there was also a repaint at the time, which was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, and was the Hero from the Sky version, the version from the end of the movie where he looks all dusty and he's got the white streak in his hair from when Rotten Applehead burst in the front door at the end of the movie. That version also had a base instead of the deer head. Anyways, he was about $20, and so is the Hero from the Sky version. And when the Hero from the Sky version came out, that thing was already getting scalped. So people were more going for this one, and now he's not very easily obtainable, last I checked. I think he goes for $75 to $200 these days, so good luck getting one of these. I would highly recommend just passing on this figure altogether, unless you're a die-hard Evil Dead 2 fan, and just get the Ash vs. Evil Dead Hero Ash. It's a better figure, even though Evil Dead 2 is my favorite movie, like, of all time. I would recommend that if you're not a die-hard fan, again, get this figure instead of this, but I digress. For rating this figure, it's going to get an 8 out of 10. It's not perfect, and there's a few issues I have, and the articulation could be a lot better. But it's overall still good, and if you can get it, get it. If you're comfortable paying the $70 to $200 price tag, then by all means, be my guest. So anyways, that's it for this review, and as I always say, Shimama Jamo, it means I accidentally ate the whole thing.